This is David Wendell with Bushcraftonfire. Me and Dew are out here in the bush today, and we're just messing around, taking some time out to do some bush stuff. And while we're coming into the river area, we thought that we'd stop and gather some materials, and we found this plant. Not even sure what it is. Maybe somebody out there can identify it. I don't think it's goldenrod, but the bark of it comes off real nice. And so Dew was just messing around here, making a little bit of cordage with it. You can see it turns pretty nice into cordage. Pretty strong stuff. Not the strongest in the world, but not bad. So we're just gathering some things. Right here we've got a couple grapevines. I mean a couple of roses. One of the reasons we came in here was to make a wilderness bow, a quickie bow. And this may just be a good arrow shaft right here, this rose. So we're going to get a couple of those, and then we'll be back. All right. Gotta be careful with those things. You get thorns in your hands. Alright, Dew's just taking all the thorns off so we can walk with this thing without getting stuck. So you gotta skin that out real quick. What knife are you using there, Dew? That your Becker BK2?
Yeah.
You like that knife?
Yeah, it's a good knife.
Alright, now on our way out here, we're not building a shelter today, but if we were, this is an old dead tree. I think it's an elm tree. And you can see we pulled a piece of bark off of here. Boy, we can make some great shelters with this thing. It's just got perfect bark. This bark's just coming off because the tree is dead. And we could take this off in huge chunks and use this for a shelter. And of course, being the tree's dead, that's going to be real beneficial for us. So get in here with the knife and really take off some big slabs of this. We'd have a pretty nice shelter. There's a couple of them here that are dead. And that would certainly give us enough materials for a shelter for the night, for a week, for even a month probably. Alright, here's some more of that mystery plant. You know, one of the things, a lot of people think you need to know the names of a million plants out in the bush. What you need to know is characteristics of what these plants are. You can see, again, you've got those little heads on here, okay? And again, if somebody can identify this, that's fine. To me, it's going to be cordage plant, because you can see how this bark just separates off of here. It's very stringy and excellent bark to make cordage with. It's just very strong when it starts separating. I think a way to get this off of here, Dew, is to beat this with a stick. Yeah. Separate that outer bark like that. But you can see this on all these branches. I will whack Dew in the head with it. All these branches, this bark just comes off of here in long strips. And again, that's very strong stuff. So good cordage material candidate. But this is all over around here down on this river's edge. So good find. Good find. Right here we've got some wild grapes. And these have dehydrated, but I guess they'd probably still be edible, wouldn't they, Dew?
Yeah, they call them raisins.
They call them raisins. That's a good way. So we got raisins all around us.
Well, I was taking video of the river and Dad left, so let's see where he went. Got some other tracks down here. Coon, I think. Here's another track. I think we're getting close. Found him. I don't know if you can see them, but there's a bunch of little minnows in there. So walking along, we found this hip bone off of a cow. And if you look at it, all these marks around the bone here is where a rodent or a squirrel went and started chewing on it, because they chew on these to get calcium out of them.
I think we could use this for a hand drill, couldn't we do? I mean, for a bow drill handle?
Yeah, probably could.
Chip it out and see if we could keep that for a socket.
Yeah. You can also use bone for different tools.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff. That bone's pretty old.
Yeah, probably couldn't use an arrow.
Pretty tore up. We'll try and split some down and see what we get. We're just down here getting a couple pieces of river willow. See what we can find. Kind of straight. See if we can make some kind of a little composite bow. This is not too straight. Do you see another real straight one? We'll go up the river and look a bit, because there's a bunch here. Here's some more wild edibles we can utilize. This is prickly lettuce. We didn't come out here to eat, so we're not going to take it or anything, but it's a good one we could use.
Right here next to the prickly lettuce, brush the leaves aside, and there's a dandelion.
We got plenty of chow out here, don't we, Dill?
Yeah.
Dandelions all over the place here under the leaves. Right here, just off from the dandelion, we've got plantain. Just that narrow leaf plantain that Tam has done videos on. You can utilize that. Right here we've got what looks like to be some kind of a duck, or it's an edible for sure.
That's sour duck.
Sour duck, yeah, that's what I thought. And here, I'm not sure what we got here, dude. Looks some kind of a runner plant. I thought it was mint at first. It's got the opposite leaves, but the stalk's not really square. Probably wouldn't use that, but there's tons of food out here, isn't there? Alright, now Dew is skinning, and you notice that he's not going through the green inner bark. He's just taking that outer bark off. And he's real careful. If he goes through that through that green bark, then he's likely to cut into the wood, which will cause a weak point. So he's just skinning right along the top of that green bark, and you can see the difference. I'll show you in a second what I'm doing after he skins them, and we'll get that turned out. So we're going to do these three trees here, these 3 branches, and skin them out. Alright, so after Dew gets done that, I'll go back and I'll plane off, using my knife as a plane on the side, that inner bark, and you can see where that green separates from the wood. You can see it changes color over to a white. And this is, in my understanding, the proper way to do willow. That way you won't break into those growth rings, and those of you that have made a bow, even a composite bow like we're going to make with 3 or 4 branches, you don't want to cut into those growth rings if you can help it, because that'll cause weak spots. So we're going to go ahead and do this for a while, and we'll be back with you when we got all 3 of them done. Alright, so we're just about done with this, and a couple things I want to show you guys. Number 1, do get a shot of that pile. You don't want to waste your resources, guys, and so we've kept all these shavings, and if we needed to start a fire later, which we're not going to do today, but if we needed to start a fire, then we'd have plenty of tinder to start that fire out. Okay. Second thing I want to show you is that willow tends to do not real nice things to the cleanliness of your blade. It doesn't really dull it, but you can see it gets it kind of gritty and grimy. Found a pretty cool way to fix that, just to wet your blade, okay, and then rub it on the leather of your shoe. Careful, you don't want to cut your shoe here, but That cleans that blade right up. And I had a sharpening rod here. Cleans that up. A couple little strokes on the rod. And that's back to razor blade sharp. So it doesn't just take a few seconds to keep your things in good order while you're out here. Okay. Alright, what we're doing now is just wrapping these. The only twine we have out here is just a little bit of baler's twine, sisal twine, so he's wrapping the ends of this a little bit. Go back up there, tie that off, show him what you're doing there. Big hand's in the way. There you go. And we're just holding these together. We put two of the medium big ends together, and then the very, very big end we put out on the other end. So we'll tie those together. I'll show you what we got so far. So you can see they're about the same distance the whole way down. And we tried to keep them so they didn't turn. So we're going to lash up that middle one and show you what we have. Alright, well, we got it done. Both ends are wrapped. The center's wrapped. Now what we're going to want to do is this is going to be this rod right here is going to be the back of the bow, and these two in here will be the belly, so it'll flex this way. Seems to be the best way that it's wanting to flex. And it's not doing a bad job, so we'll see if we can find a piece of 550 and string this thing up and see how it shoots. Alright, we found this piece of sycamore sitting out here, and looks like it'll be a pretty good arrow. Can you see down there, dude? Yep. Looks like it'll be a pretty good test arrow. It's nothing major, we're just going to self-point it and cut a knockout here. For our string. So we got that cut. Just a little knock, doesn't need to be anything big. And we'll get that cut out a little bit. This is an old hard piece of wood. And we'll clean that up. And then we'll be ready to get this thing strung up and see how it fires. I'm sure it's probably going to be about 30-pound bow. It's not that big. It just was a play game, something for the little girls when we go home. Okay. Alright, dude's got it strung up. It's not the best string up job right now because it's really green. We don't want to break it. But it's tight enough to shoot an arrow. So let's go ahead and let him shoot that arrow. That shot pretty good.